观众朋友们晚上好，欢迎收看最新一期的子天访谈录 SD Talk Show， 我是子天 Schedule。 Welcome to SD Talk Show. Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Very happy to have you here with me today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
So my name is Ben Hu, and I'm a rising senior at the Hotchkiss School, so I'm a high schooler right now. And I've lived all my life in Houston, Texas.
So I think the audience were curious why today our guest is high school students. What's so special?
Yeah, so what I do is I run a nonprofit organization called Giveducation. And what we do is we provide access to learning opportunities for Houston and the greater community in the United States. We provide access to learning resources for underprivileged students.
So I look at your t-shirt, say Give Education Summer Camp.
That's right.
So you are the founder of the Give Education, right? So when you started this?
So I started it actually 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we kind of started Give Education out of need because we know that there's a lot of students in America who lack access to educational resources. And because, you know, after school educational resources are really expensive. So for a lot of students, this is just simply out of reach. So that's why I felt inspired to start Give Education.
So currently you are in the board school, right?
That's right.
It's like private school. Oh, okay. So why and what idea, who bring the idea to you or yourself want to build the organization? Right.
So before high school, when I was in middle school, I did a lot of work volunteering at Title I schools in Houston. And we would just work with the kids on their English comprehension, their math skills, and things like that. And that's really where I sort of saw the need for Give Education, because a lot of these students, they have a lot of potential and they're extremely smart, but unfortunately, they just simply don't have access to the same resources that a lot of other students do. And I saw that this was extremely unfair. So what we do is we actually work with private learning centers in the area. So for instance, if you think about like Kumon, Art of Problem Solving, different learning centers like that, we ask these learning centers to donate a certain number of spots to their classes to us. And usually we ask them to donate spots that are unused. So, you know, every time they do course registration, there's a few spots that are empty. We ask them to donate those spots to us. And then we turn around and grant those spots to our scholarship recipients. So that is how we actually operate, and that's how we do what we do. And I think it's a really smart model because we don't have to pay anything for the classes. And learning centers are more willing to work with us if they know that they're not actually, you know, losing money, or they're not, you know, spending money to actually work with us, because a lot of these spots would go to waste. So for them, it's a great way to make a positive impact in the community. And for us, we get to do really great things with their resources.
That sounds so exciting. So I want to know, you know, be a founder of the organization, it's not easy. So from beginning, you only by yourself, or you have friends, your family support you? Yeah, so my family was huge support when I started this, because as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult to go from zero to something of this size. So at first, one of the biggest challenges was just convincing learning centers to work with us, because they look at me and I'm just a high schooler, and they're probably thinking like, what does this kid want? But then I'm really grateful because we were able to get a few key supporters. One of them is Art of Problem Solving, the nation's largest math learning center. And once they sort of jumped on board, they were really awesome with donating spots to us. Once they jumped on board, it was a lot easier to convince other learning centers to work with us. Today, we have over 15 learning centers in our network. And as we grow, it just gets easier and easier to reach out to more learning centers, because we can tell them, you know, hey, other learning centers are already partnering with us, and that's how you can trust us. So from the beginning, it was definitely a challenge getting people to trust us, but I think as we're growing, it's becoming much easier, yeah. So you have already 15 learning center. So how many members at your organization? So I can use a member because I want to know a lot of people want to apply to join you. So they have to be a member, or how to qualify?
Yeah, so we have a really awesome team that kind of helps us do what we do. We have over 25 team members right now, and anybody who wants to join can just go to our website. It's wegiveeducation.org. Basically, we have a lot of different positions open. There's students who are helping us advertise our scholarship opportunities. There's students helping us, send emails to different scholarship recipients. There's also students who are helping us, reach out to more learning centers and sort of get more partnerships like that. So there's a lot of volunteer opportunities for students, and that's something that is really important to us because none of this work would be possible without a pretty large team behind it, sort of running the whole show. And that's why I'm really grateful to have such an awesome team.
Thank you. So the Learning Center, it's part of the summer camp?
So the summer camp is a separate thing that we do.
Okay.
And this was actually our second year running the summer camp.
Oh, already second year.
Yeah, that's right. So it was really exciting this year because we had over 100 students, all Title I students from around the Houston area.
Okay.
And it was a 2-day summer camp where we used a volunteer team. And the volunteer team, prepared different lessons like financial literacy, robotics classes, all sorts of fun classes. And then this team of high schoolers basically taught this camp to these over 100 students, and it was really exciting.
So how many days the summer camp?
So this year's summer camp was 2 days.
2 days.
So 2 full days,
Okay.
starting from the morning to the afternoon. We were also able to provide them lunch, a camp t-shirt just like this,
Yeah.
because we had really generous sponsors last year and this year.
So can you talk about more this program, like what you do and from morning to the evening? Because I know the Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
That's right.
Yeah, she also joined you. Can you talk about more details?
Yeah, so we were really fortunate to be recognized by the Congresswoman, and she sort of recognized the work that we were doing and thought it was really awesome, and she gave us a certificate of congressional recognition. So basically during the camp, what the students were doing is they were taking a lot of fun classes that usually they don't really have access to, right? So in our robotics class, we had a group of students who do competitive robotics, and they basically sort of had simple lessons teaching the students how to assemble different little robots that do certain things. And then within that, they're teaching the students physics concepts as well, like gears, pulleys, things like that. So it's a really fun class where the students get to play with robots, get to do like Lego robotics, stuff like that, but they're also learning at the same time. And that was one of our focuses for the camp. We didn't want it to just be, we didn't just want it to seem like school again. So we wanted it to be extremely fun so that all the students would, be focused, be motivated to learn, but also teaching them concepts along the way.
Thank you. I think your organization is not just a study, it's very fun.
That's right.
For a lot of people. Yeah. So, everybody when we was a child, we all have a dream job. How about you?
Yeah, so I'm not set on anything right now, but I think when in the future, I'd like to get into something related to education, advancing education, hopefully even continuing Give Education to become even bigger, right? Because right now we have over 15 partnerships. If we can expand that nationwide, get a bunch of learning centers to join our mission, I think we can do some really great work. Because just in Fort Bend ISD alone, there's over 60,000 Title I students. So if you think about the entire United States, there's so many students that we could serve. And I'm super passionate about this. I'm really pumped to be running this organization, and hopefully it's something that I can do in the future in a bigger capacity as well.
Thank you. So I heard about the giving scholarship. So can you talk about this? How to, I know a lot of students need the help.
Right, so our Give Education Scholarship is a really unique and innovative model, right? So basically what we do is we connect with these learning centers around the area, and we ask them to donate spots to us. And that's on the back end, right? So once we get those spots from the learning centers, we're able to award them to highly motivated Title I students in the form of scholarships. I think the scholarship model is great because it allows us to, sort of make resources go to really good use. And for our students, they're able to take, really high quality classes that usually cost hundreds of dollars, and they're able to take them completely free of charge. So that's a really powerful model that I think we've created. And our learning centers love it because it allows them to, make a really good impact in the community. And obviously our scholarship recipients really appreciate it because a lot of these students, they really want to learn, robotics, they really want to learn coding, reading and writing skills. And these classes really allow them to do that, and it's completely free of charge too.
So I know you are a student. You're already very busy.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to balance your time.
Yeah, so that's one of the challenges being a full-time student and also running this organization. And the bigger the organization gets, the more I have to do like a little balancing act, replying to emails, scheduling meetings with people, negotiating with different businesses and learning centers. So it's definitely been a challenge, but I think what keeps me going is seeing the impact that we've already made, and then just being motivated by the fact that there's so many more students out there that we still need to serve, and that's kind of what keeps me going.
So what's a major you want to choose for the future in the college?
I'm probably looking forward to doing something like public policy. I think the work that nonprofits can do are great, but at certain times it's limited, right? Because we can only do so much, right? We're limited by the number of spots that our learning centers are able to offer us. But if we can do something in the form of public policy, if we can pass legislation that maybe encourages learning centers to work with nonprofits like ours, I think that's something really powerful, and that's something that I want to look into in the future as well. It's just how can we not only work from a sort of private nonprofit side, but also engage the entire community through legislation. And I think that's something that I'd like to keep doing.
So after the summer camp, what's the next event? Do you have any recently event you want an announcement?
Yeah, so our scholarship is year-round, and right now is actually a really great time to apply for our scholarship because there's a lot of classes registration is happening right now. So we find that the times that we're able to fill the most spots and grant the most scholarships is usually around the beginning of school, and then also sort of after winter break in the beginning of the spring. So those are the two times when it's like most popular, our scholarship is most popular, and right now is a really great time to do that.
We just talk about the challenge.
Yeah.
So right now we want to talk about some fun part, the highlights. Yeah, share some story during the summer camp or during the organization from the work.
Right. So one of the most rewarding things about the work that I do is just checking my email. And then usually every day there's some email from a parent. I can give you an example. After day one of the summer camp, I received like tens of emails from parents saying, our kid absolutely loved it, wishes it could be like a 3-4 day long camp. So that's super motivating for us and the team. I like to share these emails with our team a lot because it kind of shows us that the students are appreciating the work that we do, and the parents are as well. And it's really great to see students having fun at our camps. If you walked into the room where our camp was being held during the robotics class, it was just so loud. Everybody was like, having a lot of fun. So that's like one of the best parts about it. And then just seeing those emails about people, saying how much they love our camp, it really it's a great motivation for our team and a really great motivation for me as well.
So how many students at the summer camp? Yeah,
so we had over 100 students this year at the summer camp. So last year there were less students, but this year we actually opened up our camp to students all over the Houston ISD region. So we were able to house more students and have a lot of fun.
So what's your future, maybe 5 years, 10 years blueprint, like plan, telling the people what you want to do, or you want to open maybe another 100 learning centers?
Definitely, yeah. So that we're always thinking about expansion and looking forward maybe 5-10 years. What we really hope is to have chapters in every major city in the U.S. So this year we already started. We have chapters in New York. We have chapters in Pittsburgh. So what we thought was if we can expand this to even more cities, that would be awesome. And also working with more learning centers, because right now if a student is in a region that we don't serve, it's hard for us to offer classes unless they're online. But if we can have in-person classes that are available to them, I think that would be really great. Just expanding around the United States.
That's good. Also, you can announcement from our audience if you need a sponsor or some help.
Yeah, so we're always looking for sponsors to help us keep our program running. This year we were really grateful to have Merrill Lynch and Chevron be the sponsors for our summer camp, and they're the ones who actually made the entire camp possible in terms of funding.
That's very nice. So Ben, I know you are students, right? You start very early. Normally the people get a non-profit organization from graduate school, the master degree,
Right.
yeah, maybe 5 or 10 years later. You start very early.
Yeah.
So who gave you the idea, thinking about, or just by yourself?
Yeah, I think what really inspired me was the sort of service work that I did in middle school.
For the volunteer?
Yeah, that's right. I was
Oh,
really
okay.
grateful to have that experience that early, because I think that was really what allowed me to recognize that there is this need. And then also I was doing a lot of research into sort of like what's going on right now in my community, and I found out that there's so many Title I schools and not enough resources to go around. So that's kind of what inspired me to create this nonprofit.
So I know you're facing challenge. Have you ever thinking about maybe have some difficult? It's hard to keep going. You want to give up?
It's definitely a lot of times, especially towards the beginning stages, it was hard to sort of get this up the ground because we'd open up our form for scholarships and there wouldn't be that many applications, or there's one day I emailed probably 20 different learning centers and got 0 responses. So it was during those days when we first started when it definitely felt like is this even a good idea? Should I keep going? But fortunately, a few learning centers did end up responding. And then from there, it became really exciting actually, because once, one learning center responds to you, you think, let's get the second, let's get the third. And that sort of process and is kind of what keeps us going here.
So when you're facing the challenge, you have some time like kind of sleep or thinking about why I do this if I need to keep going, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say sometimes when the things get sort of tough, it certainly is hard to sort of keep going. And again, like towards the beginning stages, that was definitely a lot of the feeling. But I think it was just really important to remind myself about what it is that we're actually doing and the mission that we have. I think that if keeping that in mind is really just what kept me motivated. And then also, having really great learning centers supporting us and sort of like keeping us running. I think that is also something that I really appreciate.
I think most important is you have very good kind of heart. You want to giving, you want to help.
Yeah, that's right.
So can you repeat one more time your website and if the people, the students want to apply or want to join you for the learning center?
Right. So our website is www.wegiveeducation.org. And any students, any high schoolers or even college students who are looking to work with us, we always need more volunteers to help run our team. Any students who are looking to apply to our Give Education scholarship, it's a year-round scholarship, so anytime you apply, we can get you placed with a class. So yeah.
Also the sponsor?
Yeah, so our summer camp was sponsored by Merrill Lynch and Chevron Corporation.
Yeah, for the future. If you want to get a sponsor, how to contact you?
Right, so anybody can go on our website. We have information about becoming a partner with us. And being a partner is really exciting. We're always sharing updates with our partners about the impact that they're making. And our partners really love working with us because we have this unique model that lets them make a huge impact in the community. And it lets them do that really quickly. So becoming a partner with us is very rewarding.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the show. So by the end, can you talk about more to inspiration to your maybe same age, the classmates, other students? Yeah.
You mean like inspiration in terms of like?
Yes, to some, maybe some people, some students facing the harder time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say definitely for any students sort of doing this type of work, making an impact in their community, it's never easy to get started.
Yeah.
And that starting few months, maybe even a year, is probably the toughest time, because a lot of times it feels like, you're not making any impact. You sort of question if it's the right idea that you have going. But I'd say as long as you trust in your mission, as long as you think what you're doing is really, really important in your community, and as long as you trust in your process. So like, how am I doing this? I mean, if you trust in those two things, the good results will eventually start coming your way. But a lot of times, it does certainly seem like, it's not going to work at all. But just, keep going through that. And also, I think it's really important to have a great team around you, because that team is ultimately sort of what motivates you, what keeps you going, and also,
positive.
yeah, exactly, and what helps support you, sort of get through those challenges.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you for coming to the show.
It was really great being here. Thank you.
Yeah, so the next year after the summer camp, I want to invite you come to the studio again.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, to
That'd be
telling the
great.
people how many new students, new member to join you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And I want to say big congratulations.
I really appreciate that.
And thank you also for support the community, for giving, for doing the awesome, great things.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
这就是今天的子天访谈录 SD Talk Show. I see you next week.